All right, so I'm here with Colin Nathan, and congratulations on coming back from Japan with that massive win. Lorato Lightside Glamini now putting himself in the second position in the IBF.
Yeah, good upset win. Great for South African boxing. Not many people gave us a chance. You're obviously used to that kind of position. Japan's great. It's just great being in that environment. I thought it was a clear decision that we won. But, at the beginning, you always think like, if it's a close fight. I don't think it was close. I think he really did enough, especially in those early rounds. And when the decision was announced as a split decision, I'm standing there in the corner, I'm thinking, but I'm glad we got the win. Worked hard for it as well. And no one's more deserving than Lorato.
Let's break it down technically as well, because Kamita came out, he was sort of looking at Lorato, trying to figure him out for the first 2 rounds. Then he came in hot in round number 3. Lorato's movement was just too difficult for him to analyze. He did come back later on in the fight, but a little bit too late from Kamita.
I mean, Kamita's like a legitimate world-class fighter. There was a major expectation of him to kind of get Lorato out the way and then become a 3-weight world champion. Very, very technically sound. Solid punch as well for the weights, nice and big as well. But I mean, we had the right game plan to nullify his attack and obviously to beat him. And it is what it is. I think the movement as well, but there was a certain pattern to the way Kamita fights when I was watching the tape, and I was confident that we had the right strategy and game plan going in.
All right, and obviously winning again in Japan. Japan's like a second home to you now because you have a license now there. We saw you posting on social media the Japanese license.
Yes, I am dual licensed in Japan and obviously in South Africa as well. I love Japan, very honorable country, honorable people. What a world-class commission, like probably one of the most prestigious boxing commissions. To the rules, there's no bullshit with them. They're thorough. From the safety and inspection of the fighter to just everything. It's just like a world-class boxing commission. It's refreshing, And then, you come back and you hear all the stories of what's going on behind the scenes with the new ratings, and you're just going to shake your head and you kind of roll your eyes. You really have to.
So back to reality again.
Unfortunately, and just given what's going on now, like I think I'm going to have to make a decision that I think under this administration, I don't think any of my fighters are going to be fighting for South African titles or provincial titles. I know we just won a provincial title, but until this change, it's just bad at the moment. Things are really not good.
All right, so obviously that's a big statement there. Looking on the broader side of things, fights coming up, Boxing 5 in conjunction with TLB Promotions coming up on the 21st of October. Looking forward to that one?
Yeah, very exciting stuff. I mean, local boxing at the moment, with all these issues administratively, guys are they're kind of turning their heads at boxing, And Boxing 5, we put our heads down and we were just swimming against the tide, and the tide has been kind of massive, hasn't it? Hopefully the tide changes in December. So, but with regards to action, the fighters are back in. It's an exciting fight card. We've got Hedda, who's number 1 in the world in the IBF, who's on the fringe of fighting for a world championship, and that's obviously one of our goals for next year. And it's just a great fight card. We've got Josh Feldman, provided he doesn't get bitten by Spider-Man again. So it's just very, very exciting. Finally Luco is actually going to step in. Samir Muller, very exciting kid, sells big tickets. I'm very excited about him getting back in. So it's just a great fight card, and it's just great that Boxing 5... we've swum against the tide, and TLB stepped up, and we co-promoting. It's just great, and she co-promoting, Boxing 5 sponsoring the event, as and it's just great to have boxing back and going back to Boystons where the hub of boxing really takes place.
All right. Gauteng's Mecca of boxing, the box camp. Let's talk about Hedda really quickly. I did an interview with her earlier, but the interview is going to be released after this interview, of course. She basically alludes to the fact that she is coming on in the years, but she wants to get that world title shot. She is number 1 in the IBF, so guaranteed, almost guaranteed, that she wins this one, she gets a crack, right?
So you're saying you're putting my interview first? Should be ladies first. What's wrong with you? Good, okay. Yeah. So, look, I mean, we've spoken about it. It's literally, we're in this position now, she has to win, and then we're going to throw in deep, and it's sink or swim. And it's one of those things where you're number 1 in the world, you get the title shots, you got to take it with both hands. And again, I'm going to say it's sink or swim. So she knows what's at stake. And I want to push and see where she goes. And we could be looking at a world champion.
All right, and then you mentioned Joshua Feldman and Luco, both on debut. Obviously, exciting new boxers to the public that have never seen them before. You've obviously seen them in the gym for a good while now. So, what would you reckon about them?
Both of them, I think, are going to be stars. I mean, Luco's he's had so many bad starts, hasn't he? Like, injury, exams, then it was a fighter not being licensed. It's just a shame. So hopefully we get this over the line. And he's just been one of those guys who's been so loyal to Team Hotbox. Sean Ness has done a wonderful job with him. And hopefully, well, not hopefully, he gets his debut finally, on the 21st. Josh Feldman, we've seen him develop. He's one of our babies. You know how I think about, or what I think about him. Rare talents. Not a really extensive amateur career, so he's kind of been in the lab, so to speak. And I'm looking forward to unleashing him, in his debut on the 21st.
All right, and then you got two boxers on Boxing 5 Promotions, which you also are bringing through the ranks, Samir Muller, Creed Moyo. Those two guys are looking very promising, also undefeated young fighters.
How can I forget about Creed? He's right under my nose. Shannon's doing a remarkable job with him. He's a welterweight. He stepped up from junior welterweight. He was really battling to make the weight. And he's looking nice and strong as a welterweight. And he's fighting Sheldon Schultz. That's going to be a crack of a fight. And it's just going to be, for however long, whoever wins. And obviously we're backing Creed Moyo. He's with us to win that fight, but it's just going to be a very exciting fight, and I think that could still a lot of thunder of the evening actually, and I'm just looking forward to a good fight from Sheldon too. So he's really doing well, and Samir Muller, I just love the kid. I just love the kid. He's getting better and better. We're stepping him up to a point in this contest, and he's one of the stars for tomorrow. I mean, he really, really is. So just looking forward to him coming out again and shining.
All right, yeah, definitely a very good boxer. All of the boxers that are coming up are really good boxers. And I just want to take a slight detour away from Boxing 5 and just, I haven't seen you because you've been overseas the whole time. I'm sure your family hasn't seen you either for a very long time. Let's talk about Heki Butler. That result, we never had an opportunity to speak about it on camera. It hurts, didn't it? I mean, that had to have hurt.
Well, Heki's my guy. We've come a very, very long way, and I think you messaged me. I think I only messaged you a few days later. Yeah. It was a hard loss. Taraji's fantastic. He really is a really great champion. But equally, it's one of those things in life where sometimes you can't beat Father Time. I'm very proud of Heki's performance. I think he was in the fight up until that point. But Taraji in the right hand, he was really, really good. Our game plan, I thought, was on point. He looked great. He cut weight beautifully. It's unfortunate. That's boxing. Heki's had a long career in boxing as well. So it was just a culmination of all of that combined, and taking nothing away from Taraji. He beat us on the nights, and he was the better guy on the nights. But it was a hard loss. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but unfortunately we have to swallow it.
And good in the same weight division. Also, good news: Sivanati Nanshinga fighting again on Matchroom. I think we've discussed it, but it's getting closer to the time now. It's less than a month away. How's Sive looking in the gym?
I think he's looking great. You saw him sparring today. Did good 10 rounds. I'm very happy the way things are. We've obviously now formulating the game plan and the strategy. His weight's coming down nicely, and now it's obviously the mission for visas and the administrative bullshit, and it's just one of those things we have to go through. Yeah. But it's part of the process, and I'm just looking forward to him to shining on the 4th of November in Monte Carlo. He's one of those young champions in the world who's under the age of 25. So and I think he's getting better as a world champion, so he's developing as a world champion, and I really do think the world of his talent, and he's really shaping up nicely.
All right, and then obviously Monte Carlo, Monaco, no strange venue to you. You've been there before, and obviously you're going to get there again. Siva should be able to handle it. He's won in Mexico. He's been under pressure. I'm not saying Monaco is like that, because it's probably going to be a neutral venue for both guys. So
it's neutral, and his opponent, who's from Mexico, is a tough kid. He likes fighting in the trenches. He likes going toe-to-toe like real Mexican fighters do. We've got a strategy for that, and I don't think he's going to be a pushover, and I think he's going to make Sivanati work hard for this for victory. But I'm confident that we're going to retain our championship, and I'm confident that we're going to still be champion of the world after the 4th of November.
And also on a Matchroom card, which obviously we've established as a giants in the sports, and obviously you're working closely with Eddie Hearn, Frank Smith, and those guys. The relationship, is it good with you guys?
Yeah, it's good, and it's getting better and better. And you can't not mention Rumble Africa Promotions that took Sivanati from Fight One, and turned him pro and became champion of the world. And you got to say a big shout out to them as well for him being developed with Rumble Africa. So, but that all being equal, and my relationship with Frank and Eddie and Jay and Sean, all the guys, and Kevin. I want a big shout out to Kevin Rudy if he ever watches this, Junior. Yeah, it's great. It's just great dealing with these guys. They're business minded. They know what they want. They put fantastic fight cards together globally now, and the fight card's going to be on DAZN. So I'm looking very forward to this. And then I've told you before, Joe Cordina is one of my favorite fighters. So watching him, ringside is going to be fantastic as well.
You once worked with Azinga Fuzila, and he might have actually landed up fighting Joe Cordina. So you would have been in the opposite corner in that instance.
Would have, should have, could have. This happens, Shit happens for a reason, and things happen in life.
All right. So any other big things?
It is what it is. Yeah. I'm not going to bullshit you.
Yeah.
Any other news? Big shout out to Revive Hydration. They've come on board to look after our fighters. Actually.
You got something?
Yeah. Big shout out to Revive. Stuff's actually great though. You should
explain to me how this works. It's a hydration
formula.
Okay.
Yeah, we give it to our athletes after the weigh-in, so it's great.
Okay.
Just listen. Forget about all the administrative issues that's troubling South African boxing. It's just great to be in a sport where people are hungry. You've seen the vibe and the buzz in the gym this afternoon. It's buzzing at the gym. It's full. Boxers are hungry to fight. They want fights. And I think hopefully with change upon us, promoters can come forward, not turn their heads of boxing and actually start investing in the sports. And, and also promoters not just depending upon sponsors. Go out there to the corporate world and make it happen. Put your hand in your pocket and actually do something for the fighters. I find that administratively, all these hiccups actually hinder the fighters. That's my biggest problem. It's that because of all the stuff that's going on, the fighters are the ones who suffer. And we got to remember, if they're outside forces, the fighters should always benefit. Competition is good. Fight fees should be decent to good. And sometimes you can spoil the fighter too with regards to compensation. But I think we need to stay positive. I'm very positive. I've got a great gym, as you've seen. We've got great talent in the gym. And we've got great fighters. And we've got the talent. I've said this to you so many times on your platform. We've got the talent not just to win smaller versions of the world title. We can go all the way and compete. Sometimes we might fall short, but that's okay. But sometimes we're going to win and excel and win those championships. So I'm very upbeat about the future. And I'm proudly South African. Yes, I am dual licensed with Japan, the JPC. But I'm proudly South African, and I want to keep South African boxing smiling and shining. So if I can do my bits and I can help others do their bits, let's just make it happen, man.
All right, I want to quickly talk about two more fighters. I mean, we've already mentioned one of them, Lorato Glamini. He's alluded to the fact that obviously he's had a hard training camp. He'll probably come out again next year.
He needs a break, and there was talk about him getting him out in January. It's just too soon. It's just unrealistic, So I'm thinking March next year would be a good time for him. He needs time to recover, and obviously he wants to spend time with his mother. And I said to him, I actually don't want him in the boxing gym for these 4 weeks,
And then I invited him for an interview. That's unfortunate, right?
Yeah, he was here. That's okay. So that's why he was here. Okay. Yeah. I thought it was just us, He
doesn't like you guys. He likes me.
Yo, listen, after seeing our faces for so many weeks, he needs a break. Good luck. So I mean, he just needs a break. Yeah. He'll probably only start sparring again in 6 weeks' time. Maybe a few rounds in December. We'll see. But obviously, he's in a very strong position now. Just a very, very... So how crazy is this? I was actually saying this on a radio interview the other day, that he loses a razor decision to Jazza Dickens, right? 7-5, 2 scores, and 8-4 on the one. Anywhere else it could have gone the other way. I thought we nicked it, we lost, whatever. So then Dickens defends his world championship in Dubai, gets sparked, is higher in the IBF ratings than Lorato, falls out of the ratings because of the loss. Lorato works his way back up, has a nondescript win, now fights Tomiki, beats Tomiki, and he's now number 2 in the world in the IBF, and Jazz is out the IBF. It's crazy how boxing works. It's just a crazy sport. It really, really is.
Obviously, boxers on their days, they have to be sharp. You got to turn up to every single fight. Obviously, we were saying as well, Lorato probably had a short preparation for the Dickens fight. So if the rematch had to occur, it would have been ideal. But because Dickens had lost now, it can't materialize.
But also because of the time, less than 2 weeks that he had to make 126. Hydrate, fight, and then watch his calories to get back to 126. And it hindered his performance. You saw he was sluggish against Dickens. No excuses, we lost. But I think he developed from a loss. I think that loss kind of triggered something. And his work ethic, as you know, is just incredible in the gym. So he really is deserving of beating a fighter of Kamino. And he worked hard for it. And it was a fair decision in Japan.
In Japan, yeah. Big things always happen in Japan. And there we go. We go big in Japan. We get good results. Heki's been a unified champion in Japan. Maruti's won in Japan. IBF. So, Katlego Kanyisa, we didn't mention him earlier, but he's a Gauteng champion now. Yeah. Where to from here?
Well, after what I've just, made that statement earlier, look, we'll navigate a way for him forward. We sent him down to my office earlier. He understands the situation. He only got paid today, by the way. It's just crazy.
Wait, has it hit his account yet?
No.
Okay.
No, he fought nearly 2 weeks ago, bro. Yeah. What's going on? You know what I mean? So, he's just such a talent. I mean, sorry, I don't mean to pardon the pun with talent below, but what a great fight. I thought the split decision wasn't fair. I thought we clearly won. Talent was in there. It was a great fight. They both let it all hang out. But there's another route we could go with Kanisa. In fact, this is boxing. There's a few routes we could go. We'd probably be looking at a secondary IBF Africa belt next year. Get him in position. He's number 2 in the... Well, I need to check the new ratings. He's still number 2. I don't know. I mean, I need to... Not that it matters, because we'll go another route with him. And then just keep building on that, But what a talent, he really is. He's getting better and better and better as he keeps fighting, Started off a little apprehensive, winning, and then joined us. Also a little apprehensive in his first fight with us, and then he just started developing. And now he's sitting on his punches. He's starting to hurt his opponents, and he's starting to break his opponents down. So very impressed with the kid. I think he's a bright prospect. I think he's one to watch for the future. And then don't forget, I want to bring Ismail Qadri back. And Abdulaziz Kunet still firmly on our books. So there's a lot of activity. There's so much going on. I mean, I can't look at the current state administratively and get miserable about it. I might get angry about it, but I can't get miserable about it because look at all the positive stuff that's going on around the office and around the gym with the athletes as well. And there's other athletes that I represent around the country as well. So just very, very exciting times. Really, really excited.
Really, really exciting times. Obviously, finishing the year on a high, obviously, whenever you win, it's obviously a lovely feeling. Losses, it happens, part of the sport. But ultimately, you're in the game to succeed, and you got a good success rate. So we're hoping for the end of the year for you to produce some more champions, perhaps.
You talk about success. The highs are incredible, the lows are terrible. But this is the sport. This is my job. This is what I've chosen for my life. I don't want to do anything else with my life. I love boxing with all my heart. I love dealing with fighters. They're just incredible human beings. And you've also got some great human beings behind the scenes in boxing as well. Sure, you've got the arseholes, but that's in all industries and all businesses. But that's boxing keeps me young. It keeps me ticking. I can't sit still for more than 5 minutes. You know that. It's not just the ADD, but it's just the fact that there's always something on the go. There's always something good to look forward to. There's always something positive to look forward to, and that's what and also I surround myself with good people. You surround yourself with good people, you do good things, and that's the reality of life.
Yeah, no, it is 100%. No, I was just thinking as you're talking there, the only time you actually talk to me straight for 20 minutes is when we're on camera. Otherwise, you're on your phone literally all the time. You're so busy, your mind is just everywhere.
Yeah, do you want me to pick up my phone and check my messages?
Let's not start something now.
I really got a missed call. I was just seeing on my watch. But yeah, but the reality, are you saying that I can't sit still in your interviews? Or?
No,
in the interviews I can? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so my mind's always ticking, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
You're always on the pulse.
Always you have to be on the pulse. Yeah. You can't let things slip in the sports, guys want things done, today. I don't want to wait. I'm also very impulsive. And I just, obviously, when it comes to those kind of things. I want the best for the fighters. I want the best deals. And my promise to South African boxing is that I will carry on getting the best deals and the best paydays for South African fighters. I'm probably, and I know this sounds a little arrogant, but I'm probably the only manager right now who can say that they make millionaires through boxing. So I'm very proud of that fact. And I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep changing lives with positive vibes. And I'm just going to keep doing what I need to do for these fighters. Lorato got a career higher purse for his last fight. And it's just, now he's in a situation where he could even make more money. And that's what it's all about for him as well. It's about looking after his future. It's about building his mother that house in Free State, which I'm so proud of him that he's done. It's about Heki paying off his house. It's about Maruti retiring and enjoying his money. These are things that I love to hear, that I'm part of, that I've made a bit of a difference in these fighters' lives and made a bit for South African boxing too.
All right. Well, we'll finish on that call because obviously that's really important. Obviously, you say what do you say? Boxers first, right? That's the first.
It's always about the athletes. That should always be about the athletes, because without the athletes, you and I wouldn't be sitting here. We wouldn't be doing this in this interview. If I was just an ordinary guy off the streets who just had nothing to do with boxing, we wouldn't be friends. It's about boxers that I've represented over the years. That's how you and I met. So it's about the athletes. Without the athletes, we don't have a job. And I think the administrators need to understand that they should be putting fighters first. Fighters should come first. They're the stars of the show. We're just part of the cast.
100%. And on that note, Colin, can I leave you with any thank yous, any shout outs?
Just thank you to you. Just all the guys in Japan, Lauren Goodman, big shout out to him, who came from Korea to assist me not once but twice. Benny Pellman, Shannon Stratham, Johan Tritter, just Sean Ness, big shout out to Sean Ness, love the guy. And all the fighters who've chosen me to represent them. So just great, and thank you, boxing. Yeah. Oh, sorry, and don't forget Larry and Riaz and Ludumo, Boxing 5, my partners, love those guys. I can't not mention them. So yeah, just big shout out to all you guys. Thank you.